I love devastatingly powerful armor units, and how does that smirk not do it for you? I was a little let down at first whenever I saw that we were getting another green armor unit so close to the time that we've got just another one previously. I mean, Winter Crom's a good unit, but I guess he's benched. Let's get to these builds. Take a look at that stat line. 38 attack, 40 defense. What's going on here? That's incredible. 50 hit points is almost low for an armor unit, but it doesn't matter with that defense. Holy cow. And the resistance is not a dumpster fire. I think that's about all you can ask for out of this. Looking at what he swings with an upgraded arm mats, I mean, seriously, take a look at this. This sucker is a killing weapon. This sucker is a wrath weapon. Yes, it has Wrath built into it. Whenever he's below 75 hit points, he's going to get a special cooldown counter every turn, and it has a built-in Wu Dao effect. How is this not broken? Believe it or not, it's actually not broken. It's powerful, but it's not broken. It's really weird. Otherwise, it comes stock with Glimmer. He comes stock with Distant Counter, like you'd expect Hector to have anything else other than Distant Counter. This technically is the second unit we've gotten now. Lucky guy. And Wary Fighter rounds out his skill set that he comes with. Overall, pretty good. Looking at his ratings here, you can tell he's not meant to be charging in, but rather just be catching everything that's coming at him. And he can handle almost anything. It's sick. Scores, of course, are broken into 4 categories, and the big ones here in this case are Duelist, Wall, and Deflector. Duelist means that's his ability to actually fight back and forth from round to round with the same opponent. Wall and Deflector are his ability to receive multiple attacks round after round without player phase retaliation. Wall being only physical attacks and Deflector being only magical attacks. So that does mix some things up. Archers in one and Manicheets in the other, but that's how that works. Now, I usually show at least one budget build on this, and I sort of have 2 here, but really you don't want to do a heck of a lot. So the first budget build is basically his default kit with a C slot in it. I want to explain how this kit works. It works as a stalling technique. It works as a way to slow down the pace of combat. He can kill quite a lot of, especially mages, on retaliation. That Glimmer helps him out a lot. Now, you could substitute Glimmer for Moonbow in this build if you want to, and only this build if you want to, because that will help him destroy more armored units. Right now, he's not KOing that many high defense units. Like Bike is still sticking around, other Hector's still sticking around. I mean, they're still here, but if you want to try to get into them, you could switch out to Moonbow. Having said that, I don't recommend switching out to Moonbow. Keep Glimmer. Glimmer is needed in order to actually hurt the low defense squishy mages that are going to attack you. You can actually catch and kill Celica if you have Glimmer, not with Moonbow. Of course, there's armor buffs and all that stuff, but we don't really evaluate how all the different buffs and teams synergies will work whenever we do a build. I like to talk about them as if they're an island so that you could easily put them into your teams and dominate with them. Speaking of which, let me know who you're pairing this unit with down in the comments. I want to see some destroying, decimating team setups with this guy. Ward is there to help make sure that everybody just stays up on their feet. It's a great skill to give to an armor unit, and this way with Wary Fighter, he's ensuring that everybody else can have that little bit of slowdown and combat pace as well. But with between the Distant Counter and the Wary Fighter, this is a great kit out the gate. You don't have to do a heck of a lot with him and field him if you don't want to. The other budget setup that I want to share with you, speaking of attacking mages, has to go around Vantage. This is pretty sick. You have your Hector, he's just here to fight, and he gets hurt! And he's below 75% hit points. Now, he gets Vantage, and he gets the Wrathful bonus activated. His Glimmer is cooling down every turn, and it's already reduced by 1 because it's a killing weapon. You get Glimmer every single round guaranteed. What this lets you do is it lets you initiate or catch other people who would otherwise be able to kill you, especially in your weakened state, and let you just decimate them. This is basically the ultimate screw you to mages. As you're going to see going forward, in the full builds I have, there's only a few mages that are going to actually make a dent on Hector. So, Actually, we talked about enough about these budget builds. Let's get to the real stuff. These first two builds, I'm not going to go into huge in-depth on some of the analytics on it because it requires premium fodder, like premium fodder. Take a look at this build. I'm sorry. The kill ratio is sort of hilarious, though. So you would hope an armored unit would be able to use brazen attack and defense and be able to use bold fighter. You would just hope that that would work well. Well, I'm here to tell you that it is absolutely crazy how devastating this is. To be quite frank with you, there's already enough power there that you don't even need to have brazen attack or any kind of A-slot skill really to just add the killing power here. As far as his score here, I only have aggressor here. It's just sort of funny. This is basically his measurement of one-hit kills. And it's a little sickening. This is at 100% hit points. This isn't with anything else activated. Let's hop into the obituaries and look at the DPT, Deltran's PvP threats. It's a curated list that I make, that I provide to you, link down the doobly-doo, and then I use it to evaluate basically wins and losses off of. In this particular case, our initiations. It's funny. I mean, 35 kills out of 38. Wow. 2 people withstand our assault, and honestly, if you just got some kind of buff, or if you did a small tweak to this, you'd be able to get that last one that's a draw for you and bring them into kills, but you don't even really need to. Brazen attack and defense in this case gets you extra punch once you start to get lower. You'll be able to actually continue to just kill things without having to take that extra hit. He's a monster. I'm not going to show all the faces that we kill in the DPT, but I do have a selection of the most valuable ones to attack and defend against. This is so aggressive. If you have somebody with Armor March on your team, and giving him Armor March is a wonderful idea. Why? That way he will always get an Armor March buff if he's standing next to somebody, but yet he can benefit from whatever kind of buff they have. You want your Hector to be as strong as possible, so you want the goads, and the wards, and the hones, and the fortifies. I'm not going to tell you what to use, but whatever you use, you need it on your Hector. So give him Armor March. Down the field, killing lots of things. And this build does have a lot of endurance still. There's nothing here destroying his ability to still tank things, and it's just wonderful. He doesn't have distant counter anymore, but that is the price you pay for 35 kills on the DPT. Sorry. This next build also requires premium fodder, so we're not going to do all the evaluation on this, but, I mean, Vengeful Fighter. I mean, you saw this coming, right? I do evaluate this build with the Distant Defense seal active. I usually don't force a seal on it, but for this build and the next build, I do, because it does really help. In this case, Distant Defense helps you out, just keep standing after several of these big hits from mages, because, like I said, mages are still brutal to you. Once again, Deflector and Wall measures of how well you can just keep on taking hits to the face, and they're not as good as the next build, but there is a big differentiating factor here. Let's go into the DPT. This DPT is abridged still, but here's what we're dealing with. 11 on initiation, whatever, 25 wins whenever you're standing there, but you still have 11 losses. That is a little steep for a unit that's supposed to catch things, but the people we're losing to shouldn't be surprised. The people you are winning against, however, you're winning really, really hard against people, because just like the last build, you have Ignis. Ignis is incredible. The extra charges that you get from the fighter series, outside of Wary, of course, just go straight into Ignis, and it pops, and it's beautiful. This is probably the best use of Ignis outside of Arden. I mean, wow. Okay, Ambaruka, don't get your rage away. Yes, there are other people that use Ignis well, but he uses it very well. As a matter of fact, he uses it so well that you might as well use Ignis or keep with Glimmer or Moonbow. There's no reason to use Bonfire. It's just in between. You either don't get to use it quick enough, or it's not enough strength and it's too late. So Ignis, Glimmer. Those are your two options. But with Vengeful Fighter, we're able to actually hurt all of those units incoming and just take care of them all. We are letting some of the mages punk us down. Okay, so why am I saving an inferior build for last? There's a couple reasons why. First of all, it doesn't use any premium fodder. I mean, he comes with a distant counter, and that's the only big ticket item it uses, really. The next thing to look at is that you could go ahead and just field this super easily, and you could even do a budget version of it if you're in a pinch for units. But regardless, here it is. His scores are practically the same as the last build. When it comes down to it, he actually has less draws and more just outright kills, but in between wall and deflector, we don't measure that. We just measure his ability to be able to push back on the enemy, and this build does it just as well as the previous one. I am assuming you're using quick riposte as the seal. You could go ahead and use that in the B slot, and then you would want to give him distant defense for very important reasons. However, guard is super valuable here. It stops you from dying. I think that's worth the effort. Look at the DPT on this one. We're going to dive into this one just a little bit more because I want to talk about how these matchups shake out. On initiation, it's not a huge deal, so those are going to go flying by here quickly. Just pay attention to who you can chomp block after the fact and who you can't, who you can initiate on and who you can't. You'll get a feel for that. 28 and 4 on the enemy phase. That's pretty good. I mean, like, we're looking at some other ones and we're like, oh, this is sort of a step down, but it's still really good because of who we're subbing in for this. The people that we are catching on this because of guard and because we have quick riposte as the seal is incredible. The only problem with this is that you need a full fortify armor in order to really protect him enough to do 2 wards as well, and that stop dying from a couple of these people. Otherwise, you're great. Let's insult your intelligence, but you're going to see faces here like Naui. You're catching Naui, obviously, I would hope. You're catching Ryoma. You're catching Ira. You're just doing so much. Now, you have to be careful of blade tome users, especially somebody like Erica on a horse that has a blade tome. That could definitely ruin your day. As a matter of fact, if she has a full suite of buffs, you're not going to be able to defend against that. It's without a lot of support. But otherwise, you can intercept a lot of the punishment that comes your way and then be able to deal that up because you keep Glimmer on this particular kit, and in addition to that you have guard there so that you're not getting a huge pop to the face from anyone. That is just so crucial. When it comes down to it, there are so many fiddly bits in the math. I'm not going to bother to show them all here for you because when it comes down to it, you just need to know that this build is going to be the build that lets you go against the colors and be able to actually defend against people like Black Knight, actually defend against other units and kill other units like Ira. Who expects a green unit to block Ira? Nobody. Seriously, that man is gorgeous. If you don't know what to do with all those premium winter units, then yeah, you can go ahead and burn them on him. If you don't have them, it doesn't matter. If you just have some quick riposte fodder somewhere, or even if you don't, screw it. Wonderful unit. Get out there and field him. And I'm serious. Let me know what team comps you're going to put him in. I want to see something that's not going to just hurt, but really break things. That's the fun stuff. And while you're there, do me a favor. If you like your Fire Emblem information hot and fresh like Grandpa's cookies, hit that subscribe button. My name is Deltran. Thank you guys so much. I greatly appreciate all of you. And until next time, take it easy.